All right, welcome back to Gregarious Guys Podcast, and Boz wants me to start out with a joke that I told him a little bit ago, so we're gonna start out with the joke. All right, so it goes like I was watching TikTok, and there's a guy, I forget his name. I would like to give him credit because it's killer, but he was saying, I don't know what offensive is anymore. Like I don't know what that means. Like it's lost its meaning. He said, here's an example. I went to a Starbucks and I went in, I got my drink, whatever. The guy hands it to me. He's like, here's your drink, sir. And he's like, hey, thanks, Chief. And the guy says, ooh, buddy, you can't say that. Like, you can't say that. That's super offensive to Native Americans. And he's like, what? How? So if you get that, you get it. So.
When he first told me the joke, 10 minutes ago, I laughed up until this point.
Yeah, he barely got it together for us to turn the cameras and the mic on.
Yeah. But anyway, welcome back to Gregarious Guys Podcast. And for also our visual, I was going to say visual listeners. I guess it still counts because there will be audio. But we're also filming this so that you guys have some visual representation on exactly how ugly we are.
And also how sexy the Batcave is.
Yes, this is true. The
new studio.
Listen, you've hit a raunchy part in your life when your studio looks way sexier than you do. So
I want to do the Will Smith thing.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna use that as the thumbnail.
Yeah, so I've got you can't see everything, but I've got all of my nerd stuff.
Oh, well, we'll definitely have to do
from over the years. We'll do a tour. I've got my guitar, my coffee bar, like Star Wars, Marvel, Halo stuff.
Monthly subscription to Men's Magazine.
I don't have a monthly. That's Muscle and Fitness, by the way. Way better magazine. It used to be anyway, than Men's Fitness. None of it's any good anymore. So you can't really see that, but down here, right there, that is the issue that Muscle and Fitness did when this is like worthless for podcast listeners right now. But
yeah, so check out the video if you're curious what he's pointing at.
Yeah. That's an issue of Muscle and Fitness from when Arnold Schwarzenegger got back into acting. It was 2013. The movie was The Last Stand, which was actually pretty good, pretty funny. And
Johnny Knoxville, of course, it'd be funny.
I don't remember his age at the time. He was in his 60s, and he was coming back and working out really hard to get back into movies. Which is kind of sad how all that went.
Yeah, but the guy's freaking 60 and he has better dedication than we do. But when you get paid millions to act in things, I guess you can do that.
Well, it's kind of second nature to him because his entire career was built basically on the dedication to the gym. Like that's where he comes from.
Oh, and also for our visual listeners, I'm just going to stick with that. For our visual listeners watching or listening to this on YouTube, if you have premium, we are not officially sponsored by Mountain Dew. However, you will see us drinking out of the cans.
I am sponsored by Mountain Dew in my life, just in general. Not like they don't pay me, but they literally keep me running.
Running an IV does not mean you're sponsored, okay?
I guess I mean sponsored in the sense that
keeps you alive.
Caffeine.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I run on caffeine.
We'd like to thank Mountain Dew for being a subtle sponsor of this because without them, we wouldn't be alive.
And it doesn't matter how many times that we say, oh, we're getting off of soda for a little while, which we do. We always come back around.
I mean, there are worse things. Honestly, I know he drinks a bit less than I do as far as Mountain Dew. He drinks less Mountain Dew.
Probably drink more than you do on the other.
Mountain Dew, he drinks a lot less than me, and I have significantly cut it out. I mean, I'm more on a coffee train right now, and just because, it's easier to take into work and everything. But, you have any idea how easy it would be for me to just get a couple of cans of Mountain Dew at work and stuff? We have Peppy at work, so everything is Mountain Dew and Coca-Cola products. They have half a wall of Mountain Dew bottles. That's how prevalent their business.
You
for
can
Mountain Dew
see
is.
that we like it because if you can like zoom in on the video or possibly when we do the tour,
Yeah, just screenshot
half
it and then
of
like
the stuff up here is, dude, I've got Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Titanfall 2, Mountain Dew's classic glass bottle, Cold War,
and he even
Halo
actually
3 limited edition aluminum can,
unopened. Yeah, because we're nerds.
Liberty Brew, from the first year that they did it, back when it was called Liberty Dew. Now it's called or Liberty Brew. Now it's called like Liberty Dew USA or something.
USA.
Yeah, they changed it.
It's kind of a pun, and I can appreciate puns. However, I like Liberty Brew. It actually sounds really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
But Liberty Dew USA sounds like you should have that as like, for the commercial, but not as the actual product name. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, but we're not sponsored by Mountain Dew, but we probably talk about it more than any other podcast on the planet.
Yes.
So sponsor us.
So if you want to send like 5 cents our way every now and then.
It's like we don't have a huge listenership, so like just give me like $1. Like I'm talking about it anyways.
Might as well. It's free exposure for all the people who are listening that have never heard of Mountain Dew for the past 40 years.
Honestly, like dude, you could live in a third world country and you know what like Coca-Cola and Mountain Dew and stuff
Coca-Cola,
like that.
yes. Mountain Dew, probably not.
It's major. Like,
yeah, it's major, but Coca-Cola, I think, has a wider reach. They're kind of like McDonald's. There's one in every country.
I'm not disagreeing with you,
but you are.
I'm just saying. I think Mountain Dew is bigger than people give it credit for. It's just mostly that it's been marketed to like college students.
Well, yeah, but
somehow extreme sports people.
To be fair, that doesn't make any sense.
That's not healthy. That guy's not.
Well,
really
neither does Red Bull.
Yeah.
I mean,
Red Bull makes sense.
They're more like motocross.
That's an energy drink, and they're marketing it to people that do not live healthy lifestyles at all. Like, dude, I'm gonna take this motorcycle off an airplane.
So like, let's think about this for a second. Okay, so a lot of times people are like, "Oh, he likes the adrenaline rush." Whenever they're talking about people who like go to Utah and just ride the canyons and stuff, it's like, okay, they do it for the thrill, right? Well, that's the adrenaline, right? Well, if you have Red Bull in your system, guess what? Your blood pressure is going to go.
Yeah, well,
and you're going to pass out once you hit that, you lay in that jump.
Mountain Dew used to do the same thing, but they kind of relinquished to that space a little bit to like Monster and Red Bull, I think. Like the whole, because you remember you used to see Shaun White, I think, the snowboard guy.
Oh, yeah,
used to be a big Mountain Dew thing.
That was only a couple years ago.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. for NASCAR and stuff like that.
I don't remember that.
Dude,
it was before Dale was on my radar.
His entire car was Mountain Dew. It might still be, but I don't know.
That's pretty dope.
I'm not a big NASCAR guy, but it was
a
cool
Mountain
car.
Dew. They know their roots.
Yeah,
with the hillbillies and the rednecks,
the moonshiners. Yahoo! It's Mountain Dew. That was the
back in like what the 80s.
Got one of those somewhere, but
I mean,
no, dude, that was like the 60s.
Really? Was
or maybe earlier? Yeah, like when it first came around.
I mean, because you think about it, Mountain Dew, that is a slang term for white lightning or moonshine.
Mm-hmm.
Like because you could only ever really get it from the hillbillies that lived up in the mountain.
Yeah.
So
I tried this thing in Tennessee called Dew Shine.
You just know? When did you try this?
Oh, like 2 years ago.
It's down here.
It's down here?
It's been down here since like 2015, dude.
Where do you get this?
Well, I can tell you the gas station on Main.
Buy them out.
The gas station on Main next to that church, they had it. And I'm pretty sure that you have it.
Like the real version?
Yeah, in a glass bottle. It literally looks like Sprite.
That's the throwback, right? It's just Mountain Dew. It's not actually alcoholic. It is alcoholic?
No, it's not alcoholic. But
yeah,
it's not a throwback.
What I had was moonshine that was Mountain Dew flavored.
Okay, we don't have that.
See, that's what I thought.
But Dew Shine is a non-alcoholic drink because it was 26. I bought it at 19. Okay,
there's supposed to be
unless the guy at the counter had no idea that it was, which is possible.
There's a hard Mountain Dew like seltzer that's supposed to be coming out, but it's only in Florida and Tennessee.
Right now. Okay, so there's also Not Your Father's Mountain Ale.
That
stuff's good.
I can't hardly find that anywhere though.
I can't.
Found it in Enterprise one time.
I know it's in Colorado. That's where I first had it.
Yeah.
I went up there.
I first had it in Texas.
I went up there to visit my cousin the turn of the year in 2018 and 2019 for New Year's. And I was like, dude, I gotta try this stuff. I've heard they've released it when I was in Japan. I was like, they're definitely not getting it over here.
Yeah.
So I gotta try it out. And so I did as soon as I got over there. And you gotta be careful.
They've got Not Your Father's Mountain Dew or
Mountain Ale
and Not Your Father's root beer.
See, you could find the Not Your Father's root beer in Japan.
A lot more, yeah.
But you couldn't find the Mountain Ale, because I guess
it must not have sold enough around here because the Mountain Ale's gone. I can't find it anywhere.
That's dumb.
That's not that big a deal because I don't like. It's a lot easier to get rid of soda belly than beer belly.
Yeah,
way easier. You can cut your soda intake back just a little bit for a few months, and you already notice a big difference. Alcohol is way harder to for some reason the weight you gain, especially
you pretty much have to go on a non-gluten diet because yeast and bread.
I don't I don't drink light beers too, so I only really drink heavy ones. So that's part of what keeps me from drinking all the time. I just have a little bit of a.
How dare you?
Light beers just what? Why are you doing that?
I don't know. I
will tell you that fit more in. That's the idea.
I think the reason they stopped selling it around here is they did the numbers. Okay, they saw how high their Mountain Dew sales were, and they're like, these guys
can't compete.
Yeah, these guys are literally going to drown themselves and die. We can't have them dying on us.
That's probably why they're not marketing the Mountain the seltzer because of all the Mountain Dew people.
And these people are just getting older and we can't kill out our customer base. That's just not good for business.
If those seltzers were good, I might accidentally die.
Wow. Welcome to an uncensored version of Gregarious Guys Podcast, where we talk about
alcohol and drugs.
Yeah, don't do that.
Joe Rogan experience.
No.
Oh no, wait! You got to do Joe Rogan right. We got to do it right. Okay, you ready? So, dude, listen. I was elk hunting in Colorado, and then I did some mushrooms. And have you ever done mushrooms?
Only on pizza.
What was that experience like? Did you see
salty?
Did you see the aliens?
It was very salty. How about this? Anchovies.
But does it get you high?
I guess it depends on how many you eat.
I'm just joking. I mean, Joe Rogan doesn't really talk about it that much, but he does like to
most of his famous clips though are usually
he will get
all the memes.
His favorite thing to do seems to be to get people that have no relation to drugs or hunting culture at all and immediately ask them about drugs or hunting. I think he asked Neil deGrasse Tyson something about one of that. I was like, what? That's left field. Dude. It's interesting to hear people's opinions.
Oh my gosh, hold on. Okay, so you had a joke. Mine's probably not going to be as funny because it was a meme, and we can't. It would take me too long to try and find it for the video. But anyway, there's this meme I saw, and I like looking up space things. I like galaxies and space exploration, stuff like that. It just kind of helps expand kind of my imagination, if you will, And so I get some of these memes every now and then. So I know Neil deGrasse Tyson and a couple of others and stuff like that. Listen to Space Talk, his podcast is actually really good. But there was this meme that I had seen that it was like, do you even know what the James Webb Space Telescope is? It's like, yeah. And I know who Mike deGrasse Tyson is too. And it's like just a picture of Neil deGrasse Tyson with that tattoo, and it's like the James Webb Space Telescope. I died laughing. I was like, oh my gosh, Mike deGrasse Tyson.
That's pretty funny.
But
dude, you could totally make that mistake if you're not super familiar with either of them.
With either of them,
heard those names enough, but you're not really into boxing. You're not really into science.
The first big theoretical scientist goes up against Muhammad Ali. Here we go, the battle for space and time.
Cage match. I got you for 3 minutes.
Oh man. Yeah, Mike deGrasse Tyson. Woo.
That's funny.
But yeah, if you guys haven't figured out yet, we are just doing a chill time episode.
I think they've probably
Because
realized
we're just rambling about nothing at all, and that's how we like it. I don't know about him. I think he's had a pretty rough week, but I for sure have had a pretty rough week.
Every week's a rough week.
Fair point. But also, I mean, daylight savings, which I think we should murder and chop off the head, kick it down a hill, bury it.
Well, they're talking about
burn it,
stay until one time.
Yeah,
from now on.
The time where we don't have that much sleep, like we're stuck on the worst side of that whole spectrum.
I have to be honest, it doesn't affect me at all because if you are driving a truck, you're just driving whatever hours you're supposed to drive for 14 hours. I see the sun rise and set every day.
That sounds kind of awesome, actually.
In a way, it is, and in another way,
so you start singing the song.
You want to
sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, sunrise. No, you have no idea.
What are you doing? Summoning Satan right now? I have no clue what you're referencing.
The Madagascar.
Do you know how long it's been since I've seen any of those?
Oh, come on. It was a very important part of our lives, okay?
All I remember from Madagascar, and I think this is from Madagascar, and it's not even from Madagascar. They just played it in Madagascar.
Kowalski.
Is the lemurs doing I like to move it, move it.
It's actually a spot-on impression.
I'm okay at impressions.
Okay, all right. Can you do them on the spot, or is it just kind of inspired?
It depends who it is, I think. But you want to try me? You want to play a game?
I do. I actually do want to try you.
Would you like to play a game?
I didn't even ask you that time.
So it just like comes to me sometimes. I'm like, oh, that's something somebody said.
What like Master of Disguise? You just become another person. Become another person. Become another person.
Oh, see, I remember weird stuff because all I remember from that movie is, "Am I turtly enough for the Turtle Club?"
Oh man, that's probably one of the best movies with Dana Curry has ever been in.
Yeah,
I mean, Trapped in Paradise is really good too, but
that's the thing. I used to be able to,
but that one was really good because of Nick Cage and him, and I forget the other guy's name.
I used to be able to remember like every line of a movie if I'd seen it, and ever like when the song plays and like who directed it and who. Now all I remember generally is like a couple of the actors and like one or two scenes.
Yeah, you know why? Is because when you get older, you have to worry about a mortgage, car insurance.
Yeah, your head gets filled with so many.
I mean, it's like for instance, okay. So the side of town he lives on actually has the highest gas prices in the region. Okay, consistently. All right. So I literally have like a map in my head. Okay, so if I go on this route, I usually don't try and make a specific errand to get gas. I think that defeats the purpose.
Yeah,
it's like I'm going to waste gas just to go get gas. Let me just get it on my way home.
If you go farther to get like a 2-3 cent difference, you're kind of hurting yourself.
Yeah, you're just hurting yourself, especially if it's a singular dedicated trip.
Yep.
So I usually try and do it on a route back from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know how hard that is from your house? Because I literally pass all of these gas stations that are like 10, 15 cents a gallon higher. Yeah. And then it doesn't get worse. It doesn't get better. Sorry. It doesn't get better until I pass my house. So I have to go all the way over around. So I have like this map of like where
everything on your side of town is cheaper. Actually, I went to Walmart on that side of town last night, like pretty late, it was like $100 cheaper for like a haul of groceries. Just aggregate total. Like, I don't know why everything's cheaper over there.
Because the crackheads live there.
I don't think that's it, but there's kind of true what you just said.
I mean, how many homeless people do you see on the north side of town?
Actually, a few now. It's starting to get kind of.
Oh, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay.
You know how
the past 10 years.
You know how a city works, right? Like you start in the middle, and then a lot of people live there, and a lot of people have the opportunity and the best jobs and all that. Then it gets really crowded, and then there's not space for people, and then they start getting addicted to drugs and living on the street, and then it kind of expands outward, and the city gets bigger, and the problem gets bigger as you go. It's like,
but for the most part, homelessness, at least in our town, it stayed pretty central to the center of town.
Yeah, but the center of town like starts moving.
Well, yeah, okay.
In a lot of towns, like what starts happening is the middle of town gets too expensive, so they start abandoning it. You know what I mean?
Hear me out. All right. So if that's the case, okay, it went from
not every town was.
It went from like, okay, Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Main Street notes, and then like it kind of, for as long as I can remember, there's always been people on the South Side Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like, but they all were lived for the most part there whenever they're like, I don't feel like doing nothing today, or holding up a sign or whatever. I cannot tell you how many times we've been to the north side of town in those specific years, like, I don't know, like 2007 to 2010, not been a single homeless person up there. I will agree with you. I have seen more homeless people up there.
They're on the corner a lot.
But it pales in comparison to the south side and the center of town.
So Dothan does do this weird
thing.
But
also, it did get, more businesses up on the north side now because they put in a whole new pavilion a couple years ago in the mall.
Dothan does this thing, so it's a little different than a lot of towns in that Dothan, and some other towns I've heard of this, but Dothan does this thing where like every few years the popular side of town changes, and sometimes it goes back to downtown, like they try to revitalize the downtown and all that. I was just speaking in like generalities, but north side is getting a lot more people that kind of sit out on the corner and hassle you for stuff.
Yeah. Never seen one on the west side because everything's too expensive.
But back to impressions. Can you do any? Because I've been sitting here thinking about this whole time. Like, we've never talked about this, but we do this all the time.
I'm more of like a situational kind of guy. Like, I can't say anything in any particular accent.
So you're just like me. We're just sitting here talking, and we get a thought from a movie, and we just try it.
Like a hearsay. It's just stuff like that. I'm like a meme impressionist.
Yeah.
Like, it's for a specific conversation and context, and then I insert that.
Yeah, if you said like do so and so right now, I would probably struggle with it. I could probably do something, but it wouldn't be great.
Do so and so, you say? Like is in for instance, I listened to Louder with Crowder, and he's like one of the best when it comes to that.
He's so good at certain impressions.
He was talking about, like, they were talking about fruit. Mm-hmm. And they were like, so if there's like, and they're also in the same episode, they were talking about like the new West Side Story, Steven Spielberg. Mm-hmm. And they're like, what if there's like gangs of fruit? Like, like there's just and mixed in with like, West Side Story. And they're like, blueberries. It's just like, it's like, what? How do you, so
I think impressions, when it comes to impressions, it's like, either you have to have a really good voice or you have to nail the mannerism. Very few people nail both. But if you can nail both, you sound identical to the person.
Yes.
I've seen them even change the way, like the shape of their mouth when they talk.
Yeah.
Like, for example.
Or their eyes.
One of the most noticeable ones is when people try to do Christian Bale's Batman. They like squish their mouth like they're stuck in a bat suit. Like.
I see it now.
It'll be like, I'm trying to get it together, so you do like.
Where are the drugs going?
Like,
well, the funniest thing is I watched your mouth the whole time, and you literally did.
It's exactly. It's like you. If it's not something you notice watching.
Give me the names.
It's funny when you go back and watch it. It used to be like,
it's not who I am. Okay, stop spitting everywhere, brother.
It's hard not to on your lips like that.
Oh, man. Yeah, see, Batman didn't know, but he spread the flu to the entire criminal base of Gotham. And that is the real crime fighter, folks.
Biological warfare, Scarecrow.
Well, yeah, break out a Blackgate. It doesn't matter. You got 6 months to live anyway.
You're going to Arkham with the flu.
This is so dumb.
Yeah, we're just like devolving.
Yeah.
Like other ones are really, really, really hard.
It's like our descent into insanity.
Like, it's very hard to do a good SpongeBob. I'm not even gonna try because SpongeBob is literally a voice. You can't mimic. He's a cartoon.
Yeah.
The Family Guy characters are that way. They're just a voice. Like you can't really mimic their face or anything that adds to your level of ability to.
Well, I also think just kind of like, okay, so how like your wife will like put on makeup. I know this is the same through every woman, and they like open their mouth.
Do a face.
It's the same kind of thing. When doing that voice, you got to kind of like do the eyes a certain way.
Everybody
or the
does
cheeks
Clint Eastwood
or something.
the same way.
Yeah, where you can't see their eyes at all. Let's yeah.
Actually, it's more of a De Niro.
Yeah, with the frown face. Yeah, you got to have it like just.
You talking to me? Are you talking to me?
By the way, they were playing 50th anniversary at the theater this week, and I was like, I kind of want to, but don't feel like it.
Yeah.
But
Clint Eastwood's more like.
Yeah, it's like that's the sound of an AK-47. Like
I'll put a bullet in your face, and I'll sleep like a baby. Like, just that.
Why do you stare at me? Stare at them.
Like, I know, right? This is the first time, so
that's true. Yeah, you get used to it, I guess. But yeah.
Plus, I'm more thinking about showing you what I'm doing than showing the camera what I'm doing.
Oh, I'm watching, and it's awkward when you're staring back.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like I'm apparently your only audience. You know why? Oh, I'm glad you asked. This is why. Because we aren't famous yet. Okay.
Yeah, you kind of are the only audience, other than like the 2 or 3 other people I'm aware of.
You said, but you're still looking at me. You gotta look at them.
I do. It's so like weird. We need to set up like literally like Joe Rogan, where we get a table and we're just across from it, so it's more natural, and we've got like.
I kind of like this. I think.
No, this is not bad. This is the best setup we've had.
I mean, considering that we are not making any money from this entire thing,
yeah,
I think this is pretty good.
Always got to be upgraded though.
Yeah,
eventually
we've been working on this for a year and a half.
We'll get it where you got like the little thing that comes down, and you got the mic, and you got the table.
Oh,
here and here.
Do you have the anchors for a boom mic?
Yes. I will put it in. Dude, come on. Got a dedicated spot now?
Yeah, for how long?
For however long.
Okay.
This will probably be the spot for 2 years, and then I'll build a new studio if I have the money and the time.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Don't like it too much because it's about to go by the wayside.
Oh, then what to do? Whenever I get to build one and just like.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But it kind of, and I would love to be able to dedicate more time, energy, and thought into it. But when you work on 1% of thought processing, you don't have a lot of extra space.
We work pretty well on this. You set up the podcast and the software, and you paid for the mic. And then I've always kind of hosted the space and worked on ideas for what we talk about and stuff like that. But, you know.
I mean, in case you guys were curious about which role we fulfill, that's about it.
That's pretty much it. We do like to alternate, I noticed, between like times of aggressive marketing. Like we tried to push the Batman episode the weekend of the Batman.
Yeah.
And then other times we kind of just do this. Like,
well, I guess it's just because everybody wants to be heard. And, we have 1,000 other voices drowning us out, and they have a lot more of a subscriber base than we do.
This is something about podcasts. Like if you're interested in starting one for yourself, you have to really we do this for fun. We hang out and we just do this.
It's chill time.
There's a bit of an incentive to try to make a little money, but we're not selling any opinions out or changing anything. Like this is just something we do for fun. If you're trying to aggressively market a podcast and make money and make it your living, you really need to pick a very niche set of what it is that you talk about.
So what you're saying is that we're going solely based off of our award-winning personalities.
Well, we talk about everything. So
yeah,
you're only probably listening to this if it's something that interests you at the time and you decide to click on it. You're not, unless you like us or you know us personally.
If so, email us.
Yeah, but otherwise, you're probably not listening to every single episode. I don't listen to every single episode of Joe Rogan. I listen to the ones where it's I care to listen to what that is.
I think I've listened to a quarter of one episode before.
Well, they're long, so there's that.
Yeah, but that's his whole income, though. We have jobs. Yeah. I know that it might be hard to believe, but I did not. I didn't buy this Ariat shirt because of this podcast. Okay, it was solely because of my other job that I work for a while. But yeah. Anyway, so let's just take a quick.
Take a quick break,
and we will get back into the swing of chilling. Okay, all right. Don't know what that sound was.
It's like a cheap
impression of a lightsaber turning on?
Or a haircut. You should have kept going. Welcome back to Gregarious Guys. This is segment 2 of Chill Time, where it's me, Boz, and Joe Average just chilling, drinking some dews, and yeah, that's about it actually.
That's literally